here on News Radio 101.3 and 1420 AM KWN. Of course, with Patrick's forecast, really nice out there, and 46 degrees currently. Time now for the Newsmaker segment. We've got Trenton City Mayor Alex Case with us this morning, and of course he is our EMA and 911 director here in Dade County as well. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, everyone. Morning, Evan.
And appreciate you coming in.
Yep.
Ted, of course we usually talk county government, but I guess we need to, since we don't get to talk a lot about the city, but you and I were discussing off the air as we go along. Tractor Supply's moving along really good. They're hiring folks, and there's going to be a new city street. Yep.
We met with the manager of the store Monday. The actual turnover from the company that bought the property, built the building for Tractor, this is what they do, was they had a hard deadline to move in March 1st. That happened. We were there to introduce ourselves with the manager, and like you said, they're hiring, getting ready. There's all the group that comes in and sets the shelves and lays the store out. Now the scheduling of that. A few things on the asphalting, again, with all this rain we've had the last several days. They're letting all that dry out. They did start putting some of the base asphalt in yesterday, we noticed, and then the new street, there'll be a new street coming in off Pace Drive, like going into the middle school. And as you go into Pace Drive and you go past the two entrances to Taco Bell, there'll be a new street there. And we will be talking about that Monday night in our city council meeting, that they are building that street to the levels that we need, and then we will be taking it over after amount of time, and the naming of that will be announced Monday night. This is the request of the developer that built it for Tractor Supply with the original owners of that property, which is the Dyer family. The lot behind Tractor Supply out to Pace Drive is still an open lot for commercial property. So this will be an access into that, and there'll be two ways to get into Tractor Supply with the commercial traffic. Again, working with this company to give the red light there at Pace Drive and 136 West an entrance for the commercial traffic to get in and out with their loads and stuff, and for people not having to fight that intersection there by the 136 West by Circle K and the interstate.
You can get in and out of that, but I mean, obviously it's a pretty steep hill down in there.
Yeah.
But this will give you an opportunity to turn at the red light.
Yep.
And then go down and then
come in the other way. Yep. And then you know, the existing entrance that's been there forever is a state entrance, so that's why it's continually used. And they will have a 136 address, at the original Dyer building address for 911. But you know, they've done a real good job, and weather permitting, they've done well. There's, like I said, there's a few things. They've got a few other things. We did give them a certificate of completion of occupancy to do that. Chief Kaiser and Chief Smith on our fire and inspection division has been on it every day with them. And you know, when they do have hiccups, we work with them. And there's a few things on some sprinkler systems that they had to adjust, and you know, that's just part of any business we do with all the building that going on here in the city. Same thing with the new addition to the what I still call the Hudson Wire building as well. They've been really working with them to make sure that gets completed on time as well.
Well, we've definitely had some positive news. Staying with Tractor Supply just a second, it definitely looks really nice when you come into town. I really can't say enough about the lighting of the interstate. That has done so much. I think it's kind of overlooked at some point. But lighting the interstate at night increases about 30% of traffic with folks getting off. They feel safer. And I think it's economically it's done well.
It is, and that's one of the things, you know, that we signed that contract, and it was all installed with state, federal highway funding money, and the liability come back to the city for maintenance and power, you know. And that's one of the things, when that group come over and looked, they stayed and come back and looked at the even. They want to know what it looked like when we were showing it to them and talking about it. And they said, we want to see what it looks like. So, you know, of the 4 or 5 properties we started with, got it down to 2. That's the one they wanted. They like the interstate, and you see a lot of them. You think of Kimball as you're driving up to the Kimball exit. You see it right there on the right, and people know it. You know, so the signage is up. We're really excited about that. There's a signage on Pace Drive on 136 West, and then the big one right there off the interstate. And so it's going to look nice. And you know, we hope it's another asset for folks that uses that, and then, you know, we're excited to have another outlet here in City of Trenton and Dade County.
Yeah, in the you were talking about the old, and I think a lot of us refer it to as still Hudson Wire, but hadn't been there, for a long, long time. But there is a lot of demand going on in the industrial park. I mean, just about everybody down there is looking for employees.
Yep.
You know, our unemployment rate has here in the county has been tremendous.
Yep.
Really at pre-COVID levels.
Yep.
And we've been very fortunate to have our industrial park. Our majority of our jobs are all considered essential.
Yep.
So
yep.
They never shut down to a degree. They had to adapt, but they kept right on working through the entire pandemic.
We're very excited of our group that's there and continuing, and the jobs that's still available, and again, getting folks to get out and do that. There's plenty of work here locally, and like you said, with the rate being down, and a few of the meetings we've been with some of the groups is that, you know, a lot of families work with these companies throughout. Fathers, mothers, sons, daughters, and in-laws work there, and cousins and stuff. So it's good that there's family-based, these companies look at the family-based people, and there's plenty of people to work and keep things moving. And when they work here, they shop here. They get their groceries and, you know, their pharmacies and, you know, their hardware stores with our Elders Hardware and Handyman Salvage. Everybody that's here, I mean, there ain't much things you can't get that we don't have to go to our bigger cities besides our major hospitals and other outlets of clothing and things like that.
Let's transition to that. I've been asked several times, well, how's the ambulance service going? And it appears that it's, you know, I won't say seamless, but it's been a smooth transition.
It has, you know, again, switching hats here to my county job that you know, the emergency services that we do to protect life and property, and, you know, life with us, EMS is a major tool that we take care of when we need. It has been a very seamless transition. It goes back to the work that we work with CHI Memorial, EMS, Walker County and Dade County, and building a coverage plan that we just for 911, not for working with hospital transports and things like that, which Puckett was, and it was fine, and we were working with it, but there was just times that we sat there too long without coverage, and you know, and financially policies that we had to rebid it based on our years with the contract, and after 5 years we needed to do an RFP, and then it's also a thing to look at other opportunities, and we did, and we've been really, you know, and I can say this, that you remember when you were the director of Hutchinson EMS and the coverage plan that we had then, it goes back to that same technology. Instead of the 3 counties, we're using the 2 counties, but we've got ambulances in a few different places, but we're using that technology, and or that old technology, or that old, the old plan that we have, but with the newer technology of computer-aided dispatch that they can see in their vehicles. Dade County and Walker County dispatchers, who's working fire and EMS right now, they talk one-to-one. We see their CAD, they see our CAD, and we're working as a one team for both counties, and we've never been without coverage too long within them hastily moving trucks around, and it's been great. And a lot of the same folks are here, but we also got a lot of new folks, and it's been well. I mean, we've been very blessed, but we're also our volunteer firefighters and first responders that do also provide that assistance before they get there. But it's been good.
Well, the logistics of this county has always been I won't say a problem, but it's been a logistical logistical problem as far as the you know, it takes a good while to get to Head River, it takes a good while to get to the backside of the New Home Loop, no matter where you're at.
That's
you
right.
Can't be everywhere at all times, but the first responders, and Dade County was one of the first that I knew in the entire region that had a good, well-trained, all 7 departments at one time had a lot of first responders that really provided that pre-hospital care that you got to have to bridge the gap between an ambulance getting there. They've always done a great job.
They've done great. A lot of them have been we've been doing EMT classes. I think we're on our 6th one since we've actually started doing our own in-house teaching, and we've currently got a class going on now. And a lot of those folks are with the fire departments, and then they also volunteer with Dade EMS at certain points. When we do get to critical points or have a major issue, we still use Dade EMS to assist with that, or we have a medical licensed first responder vehicle, or if a truck is coming too far out, you know, the first responders will go there, and if they want to switch from a first responder role to an EMT role or advanced EMT role or even a paramedic, we can. And, you know, then as you know, that requires more reports to the state and state of EMS and things, but that's what we're here. These folks enjoy their community. They want to take care of their community, and life being one of the most precious things that our job is there to protect. And I can go on without it, but that's what a lot of our jobs are, and what got me interested back in the high school years is, you know, the volunteer fire, and then protecting life and property, and life being that most precious thing that we try to strive for.
And I'm definitely glad to see that the fire department has started a high school Explorer program.
Yep.
It was, you know, we had folks like yourself that
Yep.
That came through that type of training, and kind of at that point it's just kind of undergirth and
Yep.
worked into to full-time firefighters in a lot of respects.
Yep.
I'm glad y'all started that back.
Yeah, that's been a great working thing. Again, former City Commissioner Jerry Henniger, which is also a full-time firefighter in Cobb, one of his work partners is doing that as well, so he had a lot of stuff that he could lean over to us. We started having 2 or 3 show up of volunteers, and kept on, so we made the adjustment to start. But it is with the Boy Scouts of America. We have 2 troops, a middle school troop and a high school troop, and we're also doing EMS involved with this as well. All of us firemen have been trained by that to be this training, and we got Cody Doyle, and he's going to be working on the EMS side because we got some that want to do with EMS. He's also an advanced EMT, so all of us have been in that train where we make sure, and then these folks are insured as well. They're insured through the Boy Scouts of America, and they can be on scene with us. They can go to special events. We've kind of designated one of our reserve engine, and we're going to have their logo on the side of it for them, and we're teaching them how to check it off. And guys throughout the department are taking time with folks and with these young men and women, and we've got men and women in it, you know, boys and girls, or teenagers, I guess, you know. So we're very excited about that.
Well, that's getting folks involved is something that that it kind of the last several years that you and I have talked about it. We've talked about it here
Yep.
before. Is the fact that getting volunteers to volunteer has not been an easy thing.
It's not, and you know, that's why I say when you see them, thank them for their jobs and their efforts, because you know we've got a certain amount of hours and time that we have to do and put in to meet regulations of the state for firefighters, and again for EMTs, and also for first responders, that these people do this because they love their community. And we try to make everything in-house as much as possible, and there's a lot of instructors throughout all the fire departments. They're actually doing a firefighter suppression class at Westbrow right now, and several folks from out the county are in that. So it's a great teamwork through every fire department. You know, it takes us all, truthfully, and there's days that you need more help than what you currently can get, but you know, it's when it takes 2 or 3 or 4 departments to handle it, this is what you got to do. And
any update on County Road 6?
I have not been up there in a while, but I know weather was a big thing. But what I did see, and when I was up there, it's amazing the wall that they're building and getting set back, and hopefully the engineering that they've come up that's there is to keep this water that's seeping off that mountain from sliding. I know they're backfilling it now from what was dug out from all the bad wet area. I don't know. I have not heard the status of when that will be done. I've had my hands in too many other projects to do, you know. I just swing by and check on it.
Well, you know, this is not a Dade County problem by any stretch. I mean, obviously we had the Burkhalter Gap that had to be redone. This is the second area of County Road 6 that White Oak Gap that they've done here. Highway 136, the state redone that a number of years. Highway 117 going off into to Stevenson on the backside, or the west side, if you will, of Sand Mountain. Has got a problem now. Highway 41 that connects Lookout Valley over to Helltown. You know, I mean, so it's not a problem that how come it's happening here? Was it built wrong? No. It's our geographical layout.
Yeah, you think of these rock shelves that they've run to and how deep that water was coming off the mounting. That's what they run into. Again, proper drainage, getting it done right, probably things that happened back when that road originally fell, when the state had the road up through there and the county took it back over. Some of that original stuff was still there. It's amazing what a little bit of water can do. And I
didn't even mention the road Nickajack that goes over to 193, which is back open. But that was these are main thoroughfares.
They are, and also 27 from bottom of Somerville going up over to into Rome. That is still down the 2 lanes over there, and that's a state highway. We were over there a few weeks ago for one of our regional meetings, and it's major.
Fixing to, and we've got about 5 minutes here, Mayor. Fixing to move into a what they're calling, I think, a 1A plus with the vaccinations. Your counterpart down in DeKalb County just took over the vaccination plan for DeKalb County. You and I both know him from our EMS days, and now he's implementing that plan. But Georgia has worked through the health department system. I know Dr. Toomey was in Catoosa and Walker County earlier this week, and we're moving into a different phase where there's going to be some appointments available for different folks. Yep,
we were just talking about that, again, seeing what the governor and the public health gives us. And yes, the group working, Carrie's been very helpful with some of the folks that we've got on our COVID grant to help with the scheduling and answering the phones. And yes, a lot of the bigger counties with paid fire departments and more resources and funds that are available to help take that on, and with Catoosa being some of the things working with CHI as well, they're getting a lot of the vaccines. But that's been the limit, that I think how many vaccines are available and how far scheduling can go. But the new clientele that will be available, I think they're calling it 1A plus, will be out soon, and then when those criteria get there, then the scheduling will hopefully get scheduled, and if we can get the more vaccines. And then we do have a point of distribution plan that we built with public health, and that's what a lot of us have worked with. We were actually in meetings with Whitfield, Catoosa, Gordon, Dade, and Walker when Dr. Toomey was up Tuesday. We were early that morning in Whitfield County, and that was one of the plans, and we're actually reworking. The state's put criteria on all of us to rework our local emergency operation plan. And one of the big points of that is point of distribution of vaccines. So we were putting our heads together and seeing what some of them are doing. But yes, if it comes to that point, and we have already had this conversation, Carrie, Ted, myself, along with Tammy Franklin, the nurse manager, when it opens up for everything, we've got to be prepared to handle the calls, where we're going to do it at, and safely do that, because it's going to be overwhelming with us, and we're going to do the best we can to do that.
Well, that'll be just the next phase. I think it opens up to some disability individuals that have some disabilities, and also to educators.
That's right.
It's got to be opened up, and so that won't be a big onslaught of folks, especially here in the county. But you're right. When we get into the next phase into the essential workers we just talked about, basically everybody in the industrial park is deemed an essential worker.
Yep. So with
it'll be a really a big influx of folks that needed it.
And that's what we've been planning with. Again, with Carrie, Tammy, Ted, myself. Public health, and we do still, like I think Ted has mentioned, they got primary health. I think it's going 1 day a week and doing stuff down at the senior building for drive-up things, and it's limited to what vaccines are there, and that's one of the things that when we get plenty enough there and can keep scheduling ahead, the time frame on the vaccine, how long it can be refrigerated, and once it's the first vials pulled, you got an amount of time to get it in, that 6-hour window, and so it's a very it's a lot of moving parts, but it's working, and we appreciate all the work that everyone's doing for that.
Mayor, we thank you very much for coming in and updating us. We've talked about a bunch of different projects.
We have, And again, it's these workers in every division of the city and county. We're just a small part of that team, and I appreciate all the workers, the 911, police departments, everything that we do inside for public safety. It's a huge team.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for coming in and keeping us updated.
Yes, sir.